Nice. Hello, Sister my name is Alex, and welcome back to me remaking Ash Ketchum's Pokemon teams. With you guys blowing the first video out of the water and overreaching the goal I set in the last one of these videos, it's time I kept my promise. Today, we're heading into the region that's 70% water, Hoenn. Also, 30 likes again, and I'll redo Ash's Sinnoh team. I'm so sorry! But before we begin, I have a very small favor to ask of you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below. And above all, please subscribe for more content. That will really help the channel grow and do a lot more stuff like this. Also, if you have any changes that you would make to Ash's roster, please let me know in the comments down below. But bear in mind to keep it respectful. Don't call me a moron or anything, because that doesn't solve anything. Okay? Okay. So, normally I would go over the Pokemon Ash officially caught and get rid of the ones I felt didn't benefit the team already. However, some of you guys on the Johto video gave me some suggestions on who I should add to the team, and I wanted to address that before moving on. The first one to talk about is the starters. So Ash managed to catch one starter, and many people think Ash should have gotten all three of them. Well, let's start with the Torchic line. If I gave Ash this crazy kicking fire chicken, then wouldn't it kind of defeat the purpose of May? Like, the Blaziken line is the one she's constantly paired up with. And on retrospect, it could symbolize her growth as someone who didn't like Pokemon in the beginning to a competent trainer who can turn up the heat when needed. So, Blaziken, not for Ash. Sorry. Next is the Swampert line. While I can see where people are coming from, in my scenario, it doesn't matter that much. See, Brock was the owner of Mudkip for the Advanced Generation, and in the first episode of the Battle Frontier, it evolved into Marshtomp, where it gained his lovesick behavior. Ash's Corphish had the same personality, and people would then swap both water types and proceed as regularly. However, I just don't see Ash using a Swampert. It feels like the starter that fits him the least, and that's why I won't be giving him a Swampert. Trust me, this pains me a lot. Third, to mention this one because I know people in the comments will, I won't be giving Ash a Flygon. Simply put, I just can't figure out a scenario where Ash can possibly catch it in Hoenn. In something like Journeys, maybe, but that defeats the point of Go. Again, I see what people mean when they give this one to Ash. It's fast, really strong, and learns a wide variety of moves, but I can't figure out a story where Ash catches it. And not in the Trapinch episode, that wasn't the point. But the official team member I wanted to get rid of was Torkoal. I know he has a lot of fans out there, but he was definitely the team's weakest link. Not many victories compared to his losses, and his opponents were nothing compared to other team members. Again, I'm sorry, but Torkoal does more harm than good here. Okay, let's start out swinging. On to the MVP/regional Charizard variant, the twig-munching, Darkrai slaying, swagger-inducing lizard with the drip, Trico. Okay, you guys knew what I meant by all that, but we gotta start from square one. Ash will catch Trico the same way he did in the anime, and like other Pokemon before him, he would be used a lot more often. And Ash would realize before battling the first gym that Trico doesn't have a grass move, so they would eventually discover Bullet Seed, but it wouldn't be that great. Think of it as like the mechanic in the games where some moves can hit 1 to 5 times. Eventually, Trico would perfect the move before evolving the same way where he and Aloudred evolve at the same time. He would also go through the same trauma in the Battle Frontier, where he fell in love, had his heart broken, and out of anger evolved. But he couldn't even use Pound. That is until he was able to get past his heartache and learn Solar Beam. So, yeah, not a lot of changes, but he's used more often and learns a grass move to help him out a lot sooner. With only one starter, the regional bird is next on our list, this one being Talo. And much like a lot of Pokemon I've talked about, nothing really changes with him. He's incredibly resilient, a strong battler, and a recon scout. His history was fine and I didn't see too much of a reason to change it. The only thing is that he doesn't battle Tate and Liza. After the Hoenn League and into the Battle Frontier, Ash would swap out Swellow and bring back Pidgeot. For the competition, Swellow would watch over Pidgeot's flock, and after Ash left his Hoenn team at Oak's lab, Swellow would help Pidgeot train. Again, not many changes, but he just doesn't do any of this anime bullshit! As for the final team member that doesn't change, we have Snorunt. I didn't want to save Snorunt for Sinnoh because I don't think Frostlass was a good choice for any of the main characters. Off-screen, Snorunt would evolve into Glalie and would be a good tech option for Ash's team. But other than that, nothing really changes, so... moving on! Next is the first change I make to the team, Corphish. Much of Corphish's personality remains the same, from being a bit of an ass towards other Pokemon, but a battler who can take on others that are severely out of his weight class. He also has a small quirk of being love-struck, specifically for a Mawile, but as far as I'm aware, that's just a one-time thing. In my timeline, during the battle with Tate and Liza, Ash would use him in Grovyle instead of Pikachu and Swellow. In a combo of Solar Beam and Psybeam, Corphish covers both of them with Bubble Beam. In the struggle, Corphish would evolve into Crawdaunt and use a new move, Night Slash. The tag team of Grovyle and Crawdaunt would then come out on top with Leaf Blade and Crabhammer respectively. With the Dark typing, Crawdaunt adds more protection to the Psychic moves that are more rampant in Hoenn than possibly any other region for now. Now onto the biggest change for the team. So, Hoenn doesn't have a lot of fire types, which makes the fire, water, grass chain rather difficult to pull off. So, if not Torkoal or the Torchic line, then that leaves one choice, Numel. Okay, Numel's story begins on a ranch, with neglective and abusive owners, and he is the black sheep of his herd. When Ash and the gang rest on the ranch, as they eventually do, Ash learns of Numel's mistreatment and angrily scorns the owners for their behavior. And after a battle with Team Rocket, showing off his firepower, Numel begs for Ash to stay, but Ash offers Numel to travel with him. The ranch owners were not okay with this, but Ash and his friends leave them with a scowl and sending a message to change their ways. Due to his upbringing, Numel is riddled with anxiety. Ash takes a lot of opportunities to work with Numel, and as he was about to have a breakthrough, he evolves and his anxiety more than doubled. Because anxiety isn't something you can just snap your fingers and it's gone like that. But Ash isn't giving up with Camerupt. Now it's up to you. But Numel and Camerupt could be Ash's second shiny ever. But I'll leave that up to you in the comments. Also, no, he wouldn't have Overheat because I think that added more problems for the team. Also, as a side note, Brock would help Ash in training Camerupt because he has a lot of experience with this kind of Pokemon, so in case you're wondering about that. But wait, there's more! During the Battle Frontier, Ash benched a couple of his Pokemon. In this case, he benched Glalie, Camerupt, and as mentioned earlier, swapped Swellow for Pidgeot. Additionally, Ash brings back our favorite rock lizard that's 75 pounds, Larvitar. In the same episode where Phanpy evolves, Larvitar would evolve into Pupitar. Pupitar would also have a lot of victories as Donphan, by the by. But for this next bit, I was a bit hesitant to add it because it felt kind of forced, but here it is. So, the Battle Frontier had this mini arc involving a Deoxys. In my timeline, Pupitar would battle it and evolve into Tyranitar. It would resist the powerful psychic moves, but would still lose the fight, showing that he still has a lot to learn. He would even go against the Pyramid King's Registeel, but lost. After Ash's second rematch where Tyranitar participated and got some much-deserved revenge, Tyranitar would return to Oak's lab and make his home at the cliffside we saw in Journeys where Moltres appeared. As a side note, Primate comes back for the second Frontier symbol, replacing Snorlax. He would win by the skin of his teeth, but would be left with the Frontier Brain to train and be put in a similar situation to Haunter, where he's technically in training, but he can be called on anytime he needs. And for this final spot, we have this little jokester, Aipom. Aipom's story would go unchanged and wouldn't be explored until Sinnoh, where she snuck on board the ship with Ash and Pikachu. But any more than that, I would have to save for a Sinnoh video, which may happen, might not. It depends on how well the video does. And here you have my controversial tastes on Ash's Hoenn team. Like I said earlier, the Hoenn/Battle Frontier team was amazingly strong for what it was. As it stood, Torkoal was the team's weakest link. Camerupt adds more electric resistances, there's no overheat hindering his power, we brought back some fan service for later on, and possibly gave Ash a pseudo-legendary this early on. Don't get me wrong, I see where others are coming from when it comes to adding the starters, but they either don't fit with Ash or defeat the purpose of other characters. Well, I think you've heard enough excuses out of my mouth, so 30 likes and we'll go into the mountainous Sinnoh region. So with that said, everybody, reach for the stars.